There's meetings online, on Threads, on Facebook. Who am I? Kerry Mussington, founder and director of Mind Over Matter Project Suicide Prevention. Why am I here? A shooting today of a child. A shooting of a child just around the corner. Child on the way to school. So, should that shake up the community? Because it sure is scary, isn't it? A scary situation. And one of which riles me even further. I can sit here for days on end figuring out how we can come together as a community to teach and educate, provide and support the adults, single parents, carers, even the children of the day that are bringing up, some of these children are carers as well themselves. And I rack my head with how can we come together to provide support within the community? How can we stop these children from forming families outside of their family homes and getting embroiled in things that they shouldn't be embroiled in? How can we stop the children from seeking revenge and taking revenge? How can we stop the adults from doing exactly the same? There's many adults out there saying that they need support, that there's no support in the community. And when you do provide support within the community, I'll be absolutely honest. When it comes to what's really needed, raw, the old-fashioned approach is just not there, is it? I mean, it's there, it's the old-fashioned approach, but the new approach, whereas we're dealing with reality here, we're dealing with, what can I actually say? I'm actually quite disturbed at the level of children that are being injured. Shootings. Are your children safe in the community? But before we get to the shooting, whoever did that, what was they thinking? To seek revenge and to hurt someone's child. Yes, I've heard that somebody's been arrested, but let's talk about the learned behaviour here. Where is this behaviour? Where is this animosity and this coming from? So then I have to pull myself back to my childhood. When you make your family outside of your home, once you walk out that door, once people are online, whatever, it wasn't online back in my days, but once you hang around with your friends, there's only a percentage that your parents know about you, a percentage. The other percentage is out there in the community amongst your friends that you are now calling family. Isn't the word fam? So the role models, what's going on there, each and every child that hooks up with another child, there's influences there. Everybody's had a different background, everybody's had a different experience, everybody's got a different story from home to home, different stories. When it comes to children's lives being taken and children being shot and stabbed, because it wasn't very long ago, we had another stabbing of a young boy who lost his life. That was gruesome. And what that done is that ripped and torn the community in a bit of a divide. You think it would come together, but it wasn't. Came together for a moment, for a season. That's what happens. When there's something big that happens, the next thing that happens is people will come together. But can they maintain that community support that is needed? I know what it takes for the community, but myself personally, getting help to deliver is difficult, because There's no collaboration going on. There's no collaboration. We have to go and form outside of our own bloody town to help other people in another town. Why is that? And it works. We're helping other people in another town, but I wanted to be working from my own hometown. I wanted to help people from my own hometown. But you see, when you come out of the ghetto, and I'm going to use that terminology, when you come out of the ghetto, yeah, and you try to become something, there will always be someone trying to pull you back from where you've come from. No matter what age you're at, it's your circle. And even when you try and break away from that circle, that people will try and trigger you in a where you can give them a response in a mannerism that they're accustomed to. But when you grow out of all of that stuff, it still goes on to this day. And adults, what role models are you nowadays? If all you can do is bitch and fight amongst the kids and bicker around the kids, who's got the more right, I had him attitude, or I had her attitude. Co-parent, where is that? It's more like parent alienation. If you don't know what it is, please do your research on parent alienation, and ask yourself, do you fit that criteria? Ask yourself that. You know, no one deserves to be shot. No one deserves that. That's someone's child. Nobody deserves to take revenge. You know, to do revenge on someone. You know, it's devastating. I want to help the community. There's mental health support. There's crime prevention. There's staff. There's people telling you from learned experience what it's taken, where the failures were, what happened in the past. You know, how can you improve the future? There are people in the immediate situations right now still drinking, still doing drugs, still committing crime, still hanging down Betfred. We're the role models. Still people arguing over their children this day. It's the children here, the children. The children are the ones that need teaching well. It doesn't just stop with that boy shooting that child, does it? It doesn't stop there. What happens now is it's fear amongst the community, where everybody's going to think, if I send my child to school where they're supposed to be safe, will they be safe? Wow, it's deep, isn't it? It's very deep. They're not even an adult, haven't even begun life, but the life is a crime here. Criminal behavior affecting those amongst the community, putting fear into the community. They're causing depression, anxiety and panic, worry, where parents will do the right thing and send their kids to school. Safety is important. We've got people ripping down the community, tearing down the community, seeking revenge. Only myself, I'm going to say, I've had people want to seek revenge on me. It's the same feeling, isn't it? Very same feeling, isn't it? There's always somebody out there that thinks they can be above the law and cause heartache on another human being. In the past week, I've had threats myself. And then they're indirect. And I'm supposed to be silent about the way I'm disrespected and treated. And I'm supposed to be silent? No, when someone does you wrong, speak up against it and speak out against it. There's ways of doing things without trying to cause harm. to let someone know you're against this kind of behaviour and bullying and stuff, and what you can do to keep yourself straight. What can we provide for the children? What can we provide for the adults? Why does everybody always know what I'm doing in the community but dismiss me as a person, really? That's right. I can count on my hands how much help I get for this, raising awareness. Yeah. I can count on my hands how many people collab with me to help me. I can certainly say that Ipswich doesn't support, or Suffolk support, individuals. Don't wake up. It's not something they don't support. They're just not showing that, hey, it is important to have everything for everyone. Some support. How do we stop the domestic violence? How do we stop the crime? How do we reduce self-harm? How do we reduce suicide? You see, crime, when you get to the crime, well, that's the end result. So you've got the learned behaviour that turns into the mental health, because anybody that commits a crime must have some kind of anger or issue with their emotion that they can't contain. So we'll call that mental health, shall we? So what are we doing for mental health out in the community? What help, what provision is there? I've got other charities that I speak to who are going through the same thing. You think when you look at a charity, you think at the end of the day that I'm one woman and I'm serving the community. And I'm having to bring people that have had a lived experience and survived the storm to help push out what we stand for, saving lives. But I can tell you that I've been double-crossed. I've been let down by people in position saying they're going to do something and they don't do nothing. So we're back to square one, not getting the help for this, not getting the help out for the to the parents, to the carers. You know, I know a Pacific organisation that is doing their best to get the help out for the parents and the carers, but those that have been standing out here longer than we have, that's the old way. The new way says we've listened to the mothers, we've listened to the fathers, we've listened to the victims, we've listened to the survivors, and we said there is a need here. There is a need. But you see, what I feel that the need needs to come together. Hands on, all those people that are sitting there doing nothing, you know, all of these people came to listen, what they could do to save life, what they could do to put down the bottles of alcohol and the drugs and the drinks and the crime elephant. Action's what's needed. I'm a girl that does action. That's right. I'm a woman, should I say. That's the actions. I'm tired because every day there's a new story. Today, shooting, child. I've got grandchildren out there. I've got young children out there. It doesn't matter to somebody else. My friends have children out there. This is too close to home. But whoever's home it is always going to be too close to home. And someone is devastated by that their child has been injured. And then the parent or the guardian of the person that shot the young lad has now got to be scrutinised in a way as if, is it their fault? Are they part to play? Look, the actions of somebody committing crime, they have to be accountable, for they're the ones that did it, because they didn't contain their anger. They used a weapon. Intent. Now there's going to be court, there's going to be investigations, and there's going to be people seeking answers. But the answers stem from our homes. The answers stem from our communities. The answers stem from within. But what are we going to do to provide some support, some education, some help? Because there are so many children out there that are not being helped. like I said, I'm one woman. And every person that I help, and we go on, each person that stood up on these stages, yeah, every person that I help tries their best to give back and help somebody else up as a pledge of awareness. This man here, alcohol was his problem, homelessness was his problem. When you go into the background, we all can go into a background. This woman here, when you go into her background, brought up in the council estate, great family, diversity, everything, but the home lives were just not there. So we built a home life out of our own home with our friends, and we started doing things that perhaps we shouldn't have been doing. Why? Because we learned it. We saw it. We saw it somewhere else. And it was a dog-eat-dog world out there. And you had to have a reputation. No, but people don't want that reputation anymore. They don't want a bad reputation. But they do and should know that. We can hold our own, you know. But we put down the crime element of it. We put down any physical element of it. In retaliation to when people commit acts of crime against you, we put it down. And we invested that energy into helping someone up. But I can tell you something, I am tested time and time and time again, where it weighs heavily on me as an individual, that causes me depression. And I still have to get up and fight on because I've got people that I have to help. But it doesn't mean I'm not hurting. It doesn't mean I don't suffer. It doesn't mean when I hear people's stories, I think, oh my God, please, can somebody else be on my page here? And let's get some help out there for these people. Like I said, I'm one woman. And I've had a can-do attitude. And I've helped people turn their lives away. Turn their lives around. And those that haven't, they got so far. And then they're still here moaning for today. That's because there's no commitment to change. If you're going to change from all that you've ever known, you have to go in at both feet. You cannot have one foot outside and be in it halfway. You have to go in with both feet for change. But when I'm tested, and I know and I can hear things, and I can hear, read, see, fully knowledge of the people that I've offended in their own imagination. I don't expect that at the age of where I am, nearly 50, that this playground shit still goes on, where people are out to destroy human lives, reputation, and take down the said damn thing that helped them up in the first place. So yeah, today I'm not a happy bunny, but I'm going forward and I'm planning. We're actually doing a domestic violence. Myself and other colleagues are going to be doing an event around domestic violence. Why? Because it doesn't stop at domestic violence. Before you get to domestic violence, you have that trigger factor and traumas and childhood traumas of why the adult is doing what they're doing to this day. And the kids out there today are replicating the adults' behaviors. I'm not going to stand for anyone bullying me when I'm in a position to be helping people, and I am helping people. I'm going to tell anyone that is on a mission to try and destroy me, myself, Kerry Mussington, because it just seems that my name is being called. And I can understand why my name is being called, because if I wasn't out there doing this, yeah, then my name would not be called. I'm a change for somebody that wants to change. And when I show the change and I'm being ridiculed and bullied, and one person is playing Chinese whispers like I can't hear, no, of course I can hear. When I'm getting messages of threats on my phone, I'm supposed to just sit there and take it? That's not going to happen. I use everything for an education. And from this point out, who do it I will make sure at the end of the day that I start naming people where they need to be named. Because what I'm getting is people disseminating my conversations to third parties. And how do I know that? Because when I receive them back as a matter of revenge to attack me, you've got a duo now. So they send one another information about myself. And that is, let's attack Kerry and take her down. Do you know my story? Yes, you do. Do you know where I've been? Yes, you do. Have I helped in any way, shape or form? Did I give time? Yes, I have. Nobody has to give anyone time. And if you don't like someone, you stay out of their space. But taking somebody and trying to destroy them, do you know what? You should be ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely ashamed. I've been silent so long and not saying anything for so long because what I'm supposed to be a role model. Role model is climbing up out of the gutter. I climbed up out of the gutter. I decided not to do the criminal stuff, not to be in domestic violence, and certainly not to keep taking my life over other people's actions towards me. But this shit goes on today, still goes on to this day. Why do people want to attack me all the time? Because I am change. Yes, change, saving lives. And when someone doesn't agree with my method of strictness, discipline, and boundaries, they want to go all over the place and ridicule me. Because Kerry said this. Kerry defended herself against racism. Kerry defended her surroundings against discrimination. Kerry was attacked in so many ways that started to weigh her down, and she said nothing, but she did tell someone within her support network. And they've sat there and they've watched and they've listened, and I said, I have to handle it my own way, but this is how I'm feeling. And these attacks, they still go to this day. Only the other day, I had a message sent to me, threatening me. I better do this and I better do that. Listen, when you've been through domestic violence, right? When you've been through harassment and you've lost your life, you nearly lost your life to all of it, you get to stand up to bullies. You get to say, if you have a problem, shove it in writing. If you have a problem with me, take it to the police. If I've done something so criminally that bad to you, why don't I know about it? Because that's all I know at the end of the day is if I've got a grievance with somebody, that's because my barrier is up because they're offending and they're disgraceful to affect other people's behaviours in a mannerism that brings people down and causes them depression, feels like they're not good enough, and that they're ridiculed for just being themselves. Well, I've been ridiculed long enough. I've been bullied long enough. I'm not going to have the mickey taken at me like somebody doesn't know what they're doing, because they know what they're doing. And they use certain platforms at the end of the day to get me back. Get me back. This is my life. Just like these children's lives out there. These are lives out here. And nobody has the right to empower somebody or overpower someone and then try and steal their enjoyment and steal their lives and bully them into submission. I'm not going to submit to anyone. Like I said, I've grown up from that reputation that I had as a young girl. And the reputation I had as a young girl is only because I was fighting for survival to have my voice heard from the abuse and the bullying that I was experiencing at school. 13 years old. Then I tried to end my life along with another girl. Yep, we planned it together. Why do we plan it together? Because the life of what is going on in this world was there then. Nothing's changed, only the weapons have got bigger. People's mouths are weapons. But when they start using instruments, we really have to get into where the manners are coming from and the respect. How do people get so disrespectful? How do they get so disrespectful? I have no qualms but to tell you how upset I have been today with people messing with my sleep, messing with me. And then I hear this today about children, and all I'm doing is fighting for people's lives, and people want to destroy lives. But my life is important. My sleep is important. And from now on, if I am going to be affected at the end of the day by people trying to threaten me, belittle me, abuse me, whilst I'm in a position to help all of these people, why would you take away? I'm the only one. If I'm doing work out in there in the community and I'm actually saving lives and making a difference in the community, why is it that you will attack me? Are you saving lives? Are you doing anything in the community? So why attack the person that is doing something good in the community? Why? Why? Revenge. Do you know, I'm actually trying to be, I'm being, sometimes people like to use and manipulate a situation for their own gain. For their own gain. I'm not going to be torn down by people that's trying to break me down. I'm not going to be torn down. You don't like what I do, or you no longer want to be a part of the things that we do to save life. There's the door. Shut it behind you and stay the hell out of my space where you feel that you can degrade and put me down. I do awareness for a living. I speak up about my emotions for a living. I am an emotionally unstable personality disorder diagnosis, so I need to be stable. And what I've learned is that speaking out saves lives and support saves more. So I speak out. And I teach other people not to accept abuse, not to accept being bullied or manipulated. And this can come in any age, you know. Don't accept it. Tell someone. If you're not comfortable with the way someone's bullying you, tell someone about it. I do. And I'm supposed to just sit there and just be boxed in while people just keep ridiculing me? No, I'm on an emotional day today, but I'm good. I'm in control. But I will speak about my emotions and how people are affecting me. And then I'm going to ask, show me your hand on what you're doing to the community, physically and mentally, how you're supporting them. Let me see, because I have not joined any other organization here, none, to collaborate apart from out of this town. So we can pull in fitness. We can pull in the weight problem. Yeah, we can do that now. You see, building a structure for people that need help in all avenues. That's what we're doing. We can help with domestic violence. We can help with the courts, make sure your children don't get taken away unfairly by I mean, what I mean is, I think at the end of the day, that children have to be protected. So if you want to make sure that you're doing right by your children, then teach them right. You know, I was a child that was in that court system, was in that care system, was in care homes. So all of these children of today, yeah, I can relate to some of these children out there that are suffering as a child that was in care myself. As a woman, there was a time as I was a child that I was abused as a child. I can relate to these children. I can relate that they will form their families outside of your homes because the homes are not paying attention. I can say that the mobile phones are more desirable now than children. Yeah, I can do that. That's how I feel when I see how messed up the community really is. Everybody talks, but I don't see the walk. I don't see the walk. I want to rest my head sometimes, and I want to say, you know what? Why are you doing all this, Kerry? Why do you do all of this? You see this man here? We made sure that we gave him help. He told his story. Yeah, he lived as long as he could live, and then he had a stroke. Yeah, we educated people whilst on my project the signs and the symptoms of strokes, because you see, mental health doesn't just be a word. It comes on strokes, fibromyalgia, MS, borderline personality disorders, emotionally unpersonality disorders, schizophrenias, all of these kinds of disabilities and inabilities they all need education on, because we relate and we interact with different people each day, and they have different disabilities, they have different needs, they have different expectations with their health. And if we don't understand what their need is, then we can't help them in any way. Like a lady today, she had bad back pain. I'm going to sit there and say, oh dear. Offer some remedies, offer some solutions for them to try. Have you heard of this? Did you know that placing a towel underneath your neck stretches you out a little bit more to reduce the pain in your back? Put proper pillow between your knees. Did you know all that? No, I didn't know all of that. Recommend this, recommend that, but seek your GP. As far as medication, seek the GP. This is offering solutions to where to go for people, what they can do, how they can help another human being. There are people out there that didn't know things and they need speaking to. People want to drop in. That's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to drop in. And then I just thought, Kerry, it's you again. You're supposed to be the one that's supposed to be ill with a mental illness, but you're the one that's saving lives. You're the one that's being unappreciated or recognised. That you, Kerry Mussington, who formed the Mind Over Matter project, suicide prevention, yeah, you rallied up like-minded to help to push out the awareness, because nobody else did this in Ipswich, Suffolk. That's right. I'm naming my own town where I was brought up in, Ipswich, Suffolk. The same town where the murderer, excuse me, let me get it right. The same town that has had, yes, murders in this town. All the girls that got murdered, oh yeah, we all had to go through that. We all had to be vigilant when we're walking the streets and have alarms and panics. You be here when there's shootings in the towns. You hear knife stabbings. You hear your friends' children dying because of stabbings. And all you want to do is say, look, I know how to help, but I need you to help. Not be a temporary moment. We've got to do this every single day, every week, because every 40 seconds someone's dying, aren't they, of suicide? And there's 1 in 4 of us, and I believe that one, I like to say there's probably 7 out of 10 of us got depression. So we have to help the community. We have to be fully in board and say, for me, I say, who wants to help me help the community? Everybody that wears a t-shirt, you can show that they've helped in some way, trying to help spread awareness and get involved. It might be a sodden t-shirt to you, but it's the principle that they tried and they have raised awareness. And they're living with mental health, but they're getting better because they've found their voice. So therefore, when they put on that uniform, that's them. This is my voice. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to show that every day that I struggle with emotions, but I'm getting up. So when you try and get up after you've been down as children, you try and get up, we don't expect at this stage where you've got other adults trying to pull you down. Because if those adults are pulling you down, then they can't be good role models for the children of today. Hence why you've got kids committing crime and kids wanting to take their life and children self-harming. And when you use the word self-harming, please recognize it, that it's just not one thing. It's a combination of drink, drugs, alcohol, promiscuity, a life of crime, behaviour problems, anger issues, punching walls, headbutting walls, kicking doors, slamming furniture, smashing things. I did all of that. I'm just trying to say that when you're a child, you're not having your voice heard. So therefore, let me speak up for these children. As an adult, children are not getting their voices heard, but as an adult, I find it very difficult, and so do my members, that sometimes we're finding it hard to wake you up as well. We're finding it very difficult. It feels like that the community has become robotic, and they have become heartless, and they've become cruel, and they've become lost. They want to do something, but don't know how to get there. That leads to frustration. I get frustrated because I know what I want to do. I did this once. I took it out to the community. What am I doing now? Well, you see, when you look at charities, just look how many people are actually running it. You could have 3 people in office, or 2 people in the office, or 5. And yet you're supposed to serve hundreds within the community. Hundreds? That's a lot of pressure on individual companies to serve the whole community. So we need the adults here and the young children, the young entrepreneurs that want to do something, to come out of their comfort zone and come up with something where we can work and unite together to provide something. If any schools would like to have mind over matter project, and I'll bring in the legal aspect of it as well, raise awareness around this as an act of prevention, I'm willing to do that. Any officers in office wants awareness and what it's like and how you can get helped, and we can have a solution at the end of the day. I'm willing to offer that. I know another company that has just been formed because it needed to shout louder, because the awareness and the help and support is there. But it's going to rely on the public to come together to make a change and make a difference. It's not just the shooting, is it? It's not just the shooting. It's everything. People have picked up bad habits and they have to change. And if I have to change, then I expect others to change. I'm not going to change everything about me where I'm supposed to be submissive. So when I'm having the words chucked back at me saying, you need to act professional, I will say that I've been acting my whole entire life to fit in and please other people. Hence why the domestic violence came. Hence why the abuse came. I fitted in to everybody else's whatever they wanted from me. So when people tell me to act professional, I'm going to say that it takes one to know one, and therefore I'd like to be a reality. I am a life coach. I never began to turn around and say that I am going to put on a uniform and be someone I'm not. I can only say, mate, I can hear you. It's relatable. Hold on a minute. Yep, I know what to do. You need to do this. What do you think? Then you know what? People have applied the things that I've asked them to do in relation to their situation, and they've changed the outcome for the better. For the better. So giving time to talk and direction and empowering the people for change, that's a powerful thing. I'm proud of myself. And I'll say it again, don't stand on my toes and try and take away all the good work I've ever done in this community, because I was nothing before I built this. Everybody made me feel like I was nothing. I was something, just waiting to thrive, to come out. I'm out. I decided to face it head on and tell everybody and bear all. This is my journey. This is what I've been through. I know that majority of you, some of you have been through this as well. But you know what? How do we overcome it? How do we overcome it and get through it together? Because I understand that there's triggers every single day. And having to manage your emotions is key, very key. Regulating your emotions is key to well-being. So when people are upsetting you, rather than be in silent, speak up against it, because don't let them go on, and I use the word ism and schism, don't let them carry on with their foolishness. Don't let them carry on with their foolishness. When somebody's acting foolishness, tell them, stop it. Leave my mouth, leave my name. If you're calling my name, call it for the good. Just remember at the end of the day that, and I'm going to say this to anybody that I've ever helped in the past. If I've ever helped you in the past and you're out to seek revenge on me because you are not in my circle anymore, I think twice about that if I was you, because I am no different than anybody else. I'm a survivor too. And I think twice about it. I am nothing but a human being trying to live in this world and just do right by myself. But I'm actually trying to help people in the midst of the storms. And I didn't have to do any of it. I did not even have to look in your direction. But I stopped because I was taught that manners cost nothing. I was taught some good things. Not all my life is not all bad. And the things that I've been taught, and in my surroundings, and the people that I appreciate in my life, and have appreciated my childhood past as well, is how much trauma it was, or traumatic it was, I appreciate. For now I'm knowledged, and now I help other people to save them from going for half the stuff I've gone through. When you say, like, if you take the age of what I am now, and you come across, say, a 23-year-old, you've saved them 20-something years, 27 years of hell by getting them to identify the behavior so they can lessen the self-harm, keep on top of their children, make sure they're educated, replace, and have a choice of where they want to go. So some people are just taught wrong. Some people have had a better start in life, should I say, than others. And some people, then I see families and they're loving and they're having fun and they're having holidays and things like that, and they sit at the table and they talk and there's manners. I think to myself, they've had somewhere of a different life. And then when you've got people that won't even sit up at dinner table with each other, I think just sometimes share homes without sharing your lives. And I think that to understand where someone's coming from, then we need to listen a little bit more. We need to listen to what these children are saying, or we need to find a way to communicate even better than what we've communicated with them before. I'm just had enough of where people expect me to be silent about their behavior towards me, and I just think, just lay off, because just lay off. I want a life too, and I want a life without drama. And before I encounter people, I was doing good. I was getting out there, or was this, that, and the other. But when the more personalities that you endure, it's just that everybody has a different journey, and everybody has a different level of trust issues, don't they? They have trust issues, so they behave in certain mannerism. I'm just not the one to be, to have negativity put on me. I think the motto is to stay positive and to, no matter who tries to pull you down, get up and don't let them keep you down. Get up. You've got the power over this situation. Get back up. Okay, that's all I want to really say. Take care. Like I said, mind over matter that's one thing. What we represent is suicide prevention, but I Carrie Mussington, get my own name right. I, Kerry Mussington, am an individual person. I'm 50 this year. I'm half a century, and at the end of the day, I'm just. Will I get any peace before where people would just stop harming and trying to hurt me? Will I get any peace from this? Yes, I will. If I put my boundaries up and say no means no. So, but condolences for these people that are affected. I'll say condolences. It's not even the word I want to say. I want to say that these people that are affected reading that news today. I mean, it's going to pull you down. I was pulled down by it a little bit today because I just thought, oh, children. And that's my passion, to help these children. Because helping the adults is one thing, but if the adults are not finding it difficult to listen, oh gosh, chances the children have. So we've got to come together for the sake of the children and for the sake of the community and for the sake of the parents, and find a solution to helping. People just need to listen a bit more. Maybe find a way to collaborating better than ever than before. I shouldn't have to go out of my own hometown to feel appreciated and to deliver help somewhere else when the need was in my community. The need was in my community. But I find that people don't want to work with me because for their own reasons, but people don't want to work with me, probably because I am an ex-service user, probably because I have had a lived experience, and probably because I do live with mental health. So when you explain emotions, it's like it's just dismissive. So it's almost like it's too much drama. I don't cause anyone drama. I get up, I show up, I provide therapy, certainly raise awareness. So I have a can-do attitude to life, and regardless of all the negative input, the doubt, the people that are trying to pull me down and collate shit against me, and use my voice messages against me, where they could have been months old or whatever else, I'm allowed to be annoyed. I'm allowed to be angry when someone comes into my personal phone box and then moans or does something to me. I'm allowed to have a voice. What they do is use it against me. What they do is they use it against me. They say, she's not professional. Well, please define when I was working, when I ain't working. Because I'm working on me every single day. And if I'm offended by things and acts of what I think discrimination, then I'm going to stand up for that. I'm going to stand up for my rights. I'm never going to back down from that. And if I have to sit there and put things in a chronological order of events, of why and how, ifs, why, then I'll say, it's because of this. But what measures do I put into place when it comes to protecting myself and the people that I adore around me is boundaries. I put them in place. And I just get on with what I've got to get on with. So all those people that are trying to take the effort to pull me down, I'll say that I'm consuming your mind. And if I'm consuming your mind, that means you're fixated. And if you're fixated, that means you want revenge. And revenge don't suit, Revenge don't suit. So that's a behavior problem within itself. Revenge. So let's take it right back to the childhood. Where does the revenge come from? Why do you want to seek revenge? That's a question for anyone, really. Seeking revenge when you're angry. Payback when you're angry. Why do it? You're better off spending your energy in doing productive things like raising awareness in the community, giving back and providing solutions, definitely providing the support. Bring people up, not tear them down. I'm Kerry Mussington. Mind over matter. Very exhausted, but I'm taking respite very soon because I'm very supported in all I do from my team members, and I've worked a whole year and a half non-stop to provide support, and I've helped many people just gain a bit of stability. Many people, and for me, I can demonstrate all of that on my YouTube channel, which is Mind Over Matter Project, Suicide Prevention. I can demonstrate the help and the support given and the education that has gone out to the community, and thanks to the other people that have participated in raising awareness as well. So we're not sitting on a bum, not trying to help the community. We have been trying to help the community. And as a survivor of everything that I've ever been through, I'm also a survivor of those diagnoses, and I am going forward no matter what. I don't have much time on this earth. I never know how long we've got. You know, look at the incidents that are happening. In a split second, life can be taken. So when I go out, I'm going to be known for, she always tried to help the community, even when she was being persecuted, even when she was made a target out of. She was always helping the community. And that's a mind over matter, isn't it?